members, let us commit this sitting to prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the officers of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society, the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend us upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests have been committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, I confirm that we have quorum to proceed with this sitting. Clerks, read the orders of the day.
Order number 1, administration of vote.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
The chair has the following communication to make. The Human Wildlife Conflict Committee to meet after the rise of this afternoon sitting. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable Matolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise to seek a statement on sustainable methods of maintaining county roads. Mr. Speaker, sir, in line with the parliamentary best practices, precedents and conventions, and pursuant to the provision of the Taita Taveta County Assembly Standing Order number 42 2C, relating to the sitting order number 7 statements, a member of the House can seek a statement requiring availability of information, clarification, or appearance on any substantive issue, circumstances, situations, and matters appertaining to the attention of the county government, the national government, or any public entity where such mandate relates to the management of services and leadership to the citizens and institutions as per the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and our current laws are concerned. Mr. Speaker, sir, the county government has over the years been carrying out road maintenance works by marraming, grading and leveling county roads. However, despite the efforts by the county government to maintain good roads infrastructure network, the roads are usually carried away during rainy season. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like the Chairperson Committee on Transport, Roads, Public Works and Infrastructure Development to furnish this House with the following information. 1. Are there alternative ways or methods of maintaining county roads to ensure their durability even during rainy season? What is the cost difference between what we are accustomed to and other models which could serve us for longer periods? Are there enhancements which can be done on our marram roads to make them last longer than is currently the case? And lastly, does the department ensure quality of work is done before issuing out certificates of completion and payment to the contractors? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Chairperson on Transport, Road, Public Works, Infrastructure Development, comment on the statement and give timelines on when you will report to the House on the statement sought. Where is the chair? The vice, the deputy, or the vice chair?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I am not the chair, neither am I the vice chairman, but I'm a member of that committee. And I was given express permission by my chair to be able to respond to this statement, Mr. Chair. And I would want to take an undertaking that this committee is going to look at this statement and will be back with the response within 7 days, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Statement seeker, is the response sufficient?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, it is.
Any comments from members on the same? If there is none, can we move to the next motion?
Order number 8, motion. Adoption and approval of the report of the Committee on Appointments on the vetting of Ms. GETRUDE NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointment to the position of County Executive Committee member for the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development and Industrialization.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Anselm, the Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you've given me. I beg to move a motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move a motion of adoption and approval of the report of Committee on Appointments and the vetting of Ms. GETRUDE NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointments to the position of County Executive Committee member for the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development and Industrialization. That this third county assembly adopts and approves the report of the Committee on Appointments on the vetting of Ms. GETRUDE NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointment to the position of County Executive Committee member for the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development and Industrialization laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 5th December 2023, morning sitting number 087 and its recommendation thereof. Mr. Speaker, sir, with your permission, allow me to share a few excerpts from the report that was laid by the Appointments Committee in this House, and members got copies. And as I've said, doing a few excerpts is because I believe honorable members have gone through this report, and by the virtue of having undergone through this report, they have the details within themselves about the work that was done by the Appointments Committee. Therefore, I would not really want so much to dwell into the bulk of the report, but instead I'd like to go into the observations that were done by the committee, Mr. Speaker. The committee, having considered the nominees filed a questionnaire pursuant to the first schedule of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017, her curriculum vitae, and having had her oral submissions during the approval hearings, made the following observation on her suitability for appointment as County Executive Committee member for Trade, Tourism, Cooperatives, Development and Industrialization. 1, that in accordance with Article 78, 1 and 2 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the nominee is eligible for appointment to state office since she is a Kenyan citizen, born on 25th November 1978 in Taita Taveta County, and does not hold dual citizenship. 2, that the nominee meets the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on Leadership and Integrity, having obtained clearance from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, DCI, and Higher Education Loans Board, that is HELB. 3, that the nominee has not been charged in a court of law in the past 3 years. 4, that the nominee has never been dismissed from office under Article 75 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 for contravention of the provisions of Article 75, 1, that is conflict of interest, Article 76 on financial probity, Article 77 on restriction on activities, and Article 78, 2 on dual citizenship of the Constitution. 5, that the nominee demonstrated knowledge of topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development, and Industrialization, and has the requisite abilities, qualifications, and experience to serve as County Executive Committee member for Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development, and Industrialization. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee observed that the nominee met the integrity threshold, demonstrated knowledge of topical, administrative, and technical issues touching on the portfolio to which she has been nominated. 2, and had the requisite abilities, academic qualifications, and professional experience to be approved for appointment as County Executive Committee member in accordance with Section 35 of the County Governments Act and Section 6 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017. And therefore, having conducted the approval hearing for the nominee pursuant to Section 35 of the County Governments Act and Section 6 to 9 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act number 5 of 2017, the committee recommends that this House approves the nomination of Ms. GETRUDE NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointment as County Executive Committee member for Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development, and Industrialization by His Excellency, the County Governor of Taita Taveta. Mr. Speaker, sir, just to add a few remarks on this report, the mandate of the County Assembly in this particular process was to establish the suitability of the candidate. And from our own observation as a committee, and whereas also the membership of this House was seated here during the vetting period, we could see and we could judge the capabilities of this nominee, who proved herself to be strong and ready to undertake the role that she has been nominated to. Mr. Speaker, sir, when you look at our education levels, when we talk about suitability, we don't just look at the education levels. Yes, she's well educated. She's an educated woman to master's level, which is very good. Apparently, sometimes these education levels, you may get somebody who has a doctorate degree, but may fail the threshold of suitability. Like in the previous appointments approval, when we began this third assembly, I think there are some who came with very high qualifications but failed on the part of suitability. But this one, this lady, she is not only well educated, but also met the threshold of suitability. That we could see the drive, we could see from her paperwork, from, from her narrations and all the submissions that she was making, that indeed she was the right candidate for this docket. Mr. Speaker, sir, and this also goes out well that this House means well for this county. That when a candidate comes here before this House, and indeed he or she is suitable, then this House stands to approve that candidate, because we want the best for this county. Apparently, sometimes the county assembly, this House, differs with some of the nominees, although polished with good English and all that. But when you fail the suitability test, then maybe we reserve the future for you, although you had expressed interest to come and serve in this county government. So this particular nominee stood out very well. Matters education, her experience also. We've happened to work with her in the previous administration, where she was a CC in trade, and again she went to Lance and then back to trade. She was even nicknamed, she was given a name Magufuli. That name didn't just come as a by the way. She was, and all over she would go, that was the name she was being given. By a simple fact, she was aggressive in her work, and she was one person who never gave excuses. She would always deliver her assignments. So these are some of those that even successive governments, when they come in, it's not about political affiliation so much, but looking at people that will deliver service, people that will assist this country moving forward. Because sometimes politics comes in and we look at affiliations, we look at who supported where, who did what, then we end up losing the right persons that, will assist this county doing progress. And GETRUDE NAWOTI SHUWE is one of those serious women in this Taita Taveta County that should be given consideration to serve so that she can deliver the best to this community of Taita Taveta citizenry. Again, this nomination came right on time to create some good balance on gender into the cabinet and also regional balance to the cabinet. So she came in, to fix it all, and we expect that she will fix what is required within that department and beyond, because we believe that as she joins the cabinet, she's like that super sub. She's coming in, Mr. Speaker, to come and assist the team, to complement the team, to move faster, so that this Wakuja administration can deliver its promises and to the aspirations of the good citizenry of this county. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to encourage members of this House that without taking too much time, we agree with this report and we approve this lady, and if possible, even tonight, the governor should have sewn her in, and tomorrow she hits the road to fix our markets, to fix our own source revenue streams, and so much that is lying out there that, is left not to be attended to, so that we don't waste a lot of time, which we have wasted with the court case that has dragged the process of replacing the nominee that was disapproved by this House. And again, sometimes I tend to concur and agree with the late Professor Saitoti when he said that there are times that the country becomes greater than the person. So there are times that we are also learning that there are things you can't hold a whole of this population at ransom for several months, denying people the right service, just by the virtue that you wanted to get justice. Yes, it is your right to get justice in the court, in the corridors of justice. But at the same time, wisdom should prevail. That as I'm fighting for this, how many people am I holding at ransom because of fighting to get a nomination or to fix justice that was required of me? Therefore, sometimes, and I'm addressing this, Mr. Speaker, to the general public of Taita Taveta, sometimes it should not be, it should be me. It is a must that you should sit in that position. Somebody else can also sit in your place and things move. Yes, you may really want to get your justice, but at the end of the day, look at the losses. I believe if the right decision was made from the onset, immediately after we disapproved the first nominee, maybe we could not be talking, and if Madam SHUWE had come early enough, with the same belief that she will work as before, maybe the issues of on-source revenue that we are trying to jumble around with could not be arising, because most of the revenue streams of this county lie in the trade department. Therefore, it's a very sensitive department to be left hanging for this kind of a period with an acting CC who is fairly overwhelmed. So therefore, honorable members, Mr. Speaker, sir, let us support this report. We give Madam Gertrude good support. We transform, we make a turnaround to the OSR, the on-source revenue of this county, and we move forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I therefore call Honorable Nancy Muhoi Mwakio to second this motion. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I stand to second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that this Third County Assembly adopts and approves the report of the Committee on Appointments on the vetting of Ms. Gertrude NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointment to the position of the County Executive Committee member for the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development and Industrialization, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 5th December 2023, morning sitting number 87, and its recommendations thereof. Honorable members, the floor is open for debate. Honorable Mzua.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to weigh in this report. And Mr. Speaker, I can confess that I'm one of the most excited members today in this House because the appointment of the Waziri to this docket was long overdue. And being the chair of trade, I think we have gone through very difficult moments. And the thorny issues in the trade department, they have not been handled well, not because the acting CCM is not competent, but because she was acting and at the same time substantively in a very serious Ministry of Education, and sometimes she could come here and confess that she is surely overwhelmed. That notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to say we are not just going to approve this report just because we are time bad, but the nominee herself came here and proved herself fit for the job. I was lucky to be one of the members not in the appointments committee, but to have sat here and listened to her carefully. Mr. Speaker, Ms. Gertrude is fit for this office, and I want to agree with the committee for appointments that they did the right thing to approve this lady. And I'm hoping, and I have a great feeling that the zeal and the vitality we saw in her, the passion we saw in her as she was tackling the various questions will also be exhibited when she's performing her duty as the substantive waziri. Currently, the Trade Department is in a limbo, and as our DS has just said, we need to take this job running. We need to run, because already, as we are talking, our own source revenue has already nosedived from the former 350 and above million to 290 million. So the first task that our waziri will have to do very fast is to fix on our markets and the rest. And from her ability and what we saw in her presentation, some of the questions she was asked here were very personal questions. They were very emotive questions, and I expected her to overreact the way we saw some other nominees did here, and we had to disapprove them. And looking at the trade, dealing with women in the market, very disorganized places, if you're not emotionally right, then you're likely to overreact. So I read her emotional intelligence, and I saw Gertrude is fit for this job. And also, we need a Magufuli, as somebody was putting it, in markets, because if you over negotiate with the people in the trade department or in the women in the market, then I can assure you there is very little you can do to change the department. Today we have been in a meeting, and that was the name Gertrude featured prominently, because we were very excited. And I was telling my members that we want to finish taking our lunch very fast. We rush to the assembly to come and approve this lady, because we want her to come in and work for this county and fix the issues which have not been fixed for so long. So I stand here to ask, especially the members for trade and the House at large, that I don't think we have any reason to disapprove this nominee. From her presentation, she's fit for the job, and I approve the report, Mr. Speaker, sir. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Jonas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for catching my eye. Mr. Speaker, first of all, let me apologize. I'm not feeling well, but I find this motion is very important. I have to contribute. So if maybe, Mr. Speaker, you see me murmuring in my report, don't be surprised. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing in front of this House to support this report from our committee. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the Committee for Trade, and especially the Chair, for coming up with a very true report for this particular candidate or this nominee. Mr. Speaker, I've happened to work with a nominee in both the previous Taita Taveta county governments. And only in the previous government, Mr. Speaker, this lady, the way I've learned her, she does not want to be restricted, and she does not also want to be controlled. She wants to work freely when she's in the office. That is why, Mr. Speaker, in the last government, this lady, when she was in the government, her vehicle, her official vehicle was withdrawn. And again, later than that, the secretary and some of the workers were also withdrawn. Then this lady, I was there, she said enough is enough. This lady had to resign. And she was supposed to, many of the executive officers, they really supported this lady. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm highly supporting Madam SHUWE because she's a performer. And I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, when this lady takes over the office, she'll bring changes in this Taita Taveta county government. She's a very straightforward lady. She's a performer. We have worked together. And something which, Mr. Speaker, has really impressed me on this lady is she always works very closely with the honorable members, with the MCAs. And whenever an MCA makes an appointment to go and see the lady, she gives the MCA a priority. Because I'm saying that one day I visited the lady in the office and I found there was a long queue, but the rest had to be told to wait. I was served immediately, and the lady continued serving the rest of the members of the public. And that one really impressed me. So, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand before this honorable House to support the report, and again endorse or rather support vehemently the appointment of GETRUDE NGINAI as the CCM for Trade. Mr. Speaker, the Kenya Constitution 2010 has given us women favor, a window that favors us so well in reference to a third gender rule. And if I don't support my fellow woman to take this chance, which is so golden, Mr. Speaker, I'll be doing this service to myself as a woman and the women fraternity at large. Mr. Speaker, sir, as the chairman for trade has just said, we are from Watata's Trade Committee, and what comes from the acting CECM was very open and very right. She's overwhelmed by handling two departments. One department that she was lawfully appointed to do, and acting in capacity for the trade, Mr. Speaker. He sounds overworked. She's overwhelmed. And again, looking at the same, Mr. Speaker, referring to Madam NGINAI, GETRUDE, she has that passion for this department. If I can refer back when she was appointed to the same docket, Mr. Speaker, I remember she surpassed the target, the budgetary target on realizing the on-source revenue collection. So this one, Mr. Speaker, wins my heart and tells me, Anissa, go support this lady because she has that passion for that department. She went further, Mr. Speaker, and convinced Taita Taveta County government to come up and build new markets. I live in Voi. We have a very new market, courtesy of her appointment. My last reason why I support this lady, GETRUDE NGINAI, Mr. Speaker, I'm nominated by ODM, the party that stands 24 or 7 hours fighting corruption day and night, whether it rains or the sun is shining. Mr. Speaker, I remember that was the first time I was meeting Madam NGINAI at her place of work when she busted the fake licensing syndicate, where new lawfully employed employees for Taita Taveta County had come up with cleverness of issuing fake licenses to dealers, denying Taita Taveta County the funds, or rather the taxes, the single business permits that was expected, highly expected to boost Taita Taveta revenue. So, Mr. Speaker, being in that position, she could have easily colluded with a cartel issuing fake licenses, but she brought it in broad daylight and she collected evidence that nobody could doubt. And she told this case as it is. And the culprits were dealt with accordingly, Mr. Speaker. So if this lady can be at that, any leader that can be in that position and refuse to collude with those people who are stealing from the county coffers and make sure all the revenues that are supposed to go to the government and enhance service delivery to the people, I have no option, Mr. Speaker, sir, but to stand up and support. In that case, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case, and I want to congratulate the committee where I was too co-opted for our good job that we did, and agreed in totality that GETRUDE NGINAI deserve this position. I will urge my honorable members to do due diligence to the Taita Taveta County and support this report, and tell Mwadime Wakuja to give this opportunity to GETRUDE NGINAI SHUWE and support her in her cause. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the report.
Yeah. Honorable Margaret.
Asante sana, Bwana Spika, kwa nafasi hii nimepata, na mimi nimesimama kuunga mkono uteuzi wa GETRUDE SHUWE. Bwana Spika, kitambo kabla sijakuja hapa assembly, mimi nilikuwa mama wa soko. Na kule kwa soko, wakati huo ndo GETRUDE alichaguliwa kama waziri. Na GETRUDE alituongoza, alitupanga, na soko ikabadilika. Kulikuwa na wakati vita zilikuwa kwa soko. Ilikuwa ni kuvutana huku na huku. Kuna hata mabwenyenye walikuwa pale, walikuwa wanaleta sheria zao. Wao ndio wanaongoza, wanasema sisi ndio wa kusema, sisi ndio wenye soko. Lakini GETRUDE alisimama imara, akatupanga na akaleta amani. GETRUDE na msupport kwa sababu moja. GETRUDE hashiki mambo ya kuambiwa. GETRUDE huwezi muhonga. Kwa sababu pale kwa soko kulikuwa na watu walikuwa wanataka wauze upande huu, akuwe na kibanda kingine upande huu, akuwe na kibanda kingine juu. Lakini GETRUDE alisimama akasema hapa ni kibanda moja. Na kama unaona uwezani na moja, unaondoka na uende ile soko nyingine. Kuna watu walikuwa wanauza vitu zao nje ya soko, kwa sababu pale mteja akija ndiye anapatikana kwa haraka. GETRUDE alikuwa anakuja yeye mwenyewe kusimama kule nje ya soko akiwarudisha ndani. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono kwa sababu naona hii mambo ya soko, mambo ya biashara yamepata msimamizi. Mimi ni 100% na msupport SHUWE. Asante sana Bwana Spika.
Mheshimiwa Tondo.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii na mimi kuunga hoja hii mkono. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza kabisa wacha nipatie kongole kamati teule kwa kuweza kumteua Mama GETRUDE NGINAI SHUWE katika nafasi ambayo imewapendeza na imedhihirisha kwamba ni mama ambaye anaweza kututoa katika viwango vingine na kutupeleka viwango vya juu zaidi. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa jinsi alivyojieleza Mama SHUWE aliweza kugusa nyoyo za wengi. Mheshimiwa Spika, aliweza kueleza yale mapito ambayo aliweza kupitia katika kile kipindi alichoweza kufanya kazi katika awamu ya pili ya serikali ya Taita Taveta. Vile vile pia Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa muktasari tu, Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Spika ameeleza fika ya kwamba huyu ni mmoja wa mawaziri ambao walikuwa wanafahamu kazi na dhamira ya wao kupatiwa nafasi ambazo waliweza kuzipatiwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, mama huyu aliweza kung'ang'ana kwa kiasi cha haja kuhakikishia kwamba ushuru tuliweza kuupata kwa kiasi cha haja. Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa kuwa alikuwa hana uzoefu kipindi hicho, na matumaini katika kipindi akipatiwa tena mapenzi ya Mwenyezi Mungu, nina imani ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Spika, kama hili bunge halitamwambia aende polepole, na nina imani Mheshimiwa Spika anaweza kuleta kiwango cha ajabu sana cha fedha katika serikali ya Taita Taveta kwa kupitia ushuru. Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, mama huyu nguvu anayo, uwezo anayo, ari anayo, na ufahamu katika kazi hii. Mheshimiwa Spika ana ufahamu wa hali ya juu sana. Simpigi upato, labda kuna wengine wanaweza kuniangalia kwa sababu mama huyu ametoka Bomeni, mama huyu ametoka katika kijiji cha Brandogo. La, Mheshimiwa Spika, katika madili wengi wa hii nyumba wananifahamu, sina maadili ya kupendelea mtu. Mheshimiwa Spika, mama huyu ni mtu, ni kifaa kule kwetu vijijini. Anaitwa watu kama hawa ambao wamebobea wanafaa kuitwa majembe, si jembe tu, jembe kamili. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, riziki ya mtu kulingana na maandiko matakatifu yanatuambia riziki ya mtu haipotei, ni kucheleweshwa. Ni kucheleweshwa tu, imecheleweshwa Mheshimiwa Spika, na kurudi nyuma kwa kuweza kupata hasara katika kaunti ya kuweza kukusanya kiwango ambacho tulikuwa tumekusanya. Lakini naamini ya kwamba punde atakaposhika Biblia kuinyanyua na atakapoweka chini, Mheshimiwa Spika, ninaamini ya kwamba mama huyu ataweza kusaidia kaunti hii kwa mawazo, kwa fikra na utendaji kazi, na hata kushauri wale ambao wamemtangulia, na imani ya kwamba atakuwa ni kifaa ambacho kinaweza kusaidia kaunti hii. Na zaidi ya yote Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu ni mpishi ambaye haogopi moshi. So nina imani ya kwamba chakula hichi kitaiva na kitakuwa imara na kila mtu atakipenda, na hakuna wakati bunge hili ama kaunti hii itajutia ni kwa nini tuliweza kumpitisha Mama SHUWE katika nafasi hii. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, wacha nisiwachoshe na maneno, bali kwa uchache sana nasema ya kwamba naunga hoja hii mkono. Asante sana kwa kunipatia fursa ya kuweza kuongea.
Yes, Mheshimiwa Omar.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Waswahili wanasema samaki aliyofumba mdomo huwa hanasi na ndoano. Ndiposa nami nimeona niufungue kinywa changu ili nisiachwe nyuma katika kuchangia uteuzi wa Mama Gertrude SHUWE. Kwanza nichukue fursa hii kushukuru kamati ya uteule, kwani Waswahili wanasema macho ndo rafiki wa kweli. Waliweza kuyaona sababu wameyaona utendaji kazi wake, na nawashukuru sana kwa kazi waliofanya kwa muda mfupi ili kuhakikisha jimbo letu hili limepata mtu ambaye anaweza kutukomoa katika hali ya uzembe ambao umekuwa pale wa ushuru wa ndani. Vile vile Mheshimiwa Spika, wenyewe wanasema heri ulijualo utalirekebisha kuliko silolijua utalibahatisha. Ningependa niwashukuru sana kamati ya uteule sababu wamelijua na wakaweza kulifanya jambo kwa umakini na kwa uweledi mkubwa sana ili kukomboa jimbo hili. Vile vile ningeomba serikali yetu ya kaunti ya jimbo hili iweze kumpatia fursa kikamilifu ili apatiwe nafasi kikamilifu ya kukusanya ushuru bila kuwekewa mipaka. Sababu tunavyosikia amepewa sifa kede amemiminiwa hapo. Lakini wakati anaanza kuchukua ushuru, tunajua tabia za watu wa soko kufanya maandamano na kusema wanaonewa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali ya jimbo hili nimpatie nafasi kikamilifu ili aweze kuleta ushuru ambao tunauhitaji katika hili jimbo. Kwa haya machache, nasimama kuunga mkono uteuzi wa Mama Gertrude SHUWE.
Honorable members, I now put the question that this third county assembly adopts and approves the report of the Committee on Appointments on the vetting of Ms. Gertrude NGINAI. Just a moment. Honorable members, I forgot to invite the motion mover to reply. What the motion mover, can you reply?
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa nafasi hii tena ulioniita niweze kujibu. Nafikiri iko sawa katalua. Sema tu reply kujibu. Mheshimiwa Spika, nitoe shukrani kwa ndugu waheshimiwa ambao wametoa mchango wao, changizo zao katika kuchangia ripoti hii, na niko na imani hata wale ambao hawakuweza kusimama na kuweza kutoa matamshi ya kutia moyo kwa ripoti hii, katika mioyo yao, ndani ya nafsi zao tayari wamesharidhika na ripoti hii, na hivyo basi nitakaporudi tu kukalia kiti cha kwangu, basi watakuwa wepesi kuunga mkono ripoti hii utakapouliza lile swali. Mheshimiwa Spika, kama kweli Taita Taveta tunataka kubadilisha ukusanyaji wa ushuru ndani ya Taita Taveta, basi tumpatie huyu mama nafasi. Kama kweli tunataka kubadilisha hali ya masoko yetu, GETRUDE SHUWE ndio dawa. Mheshimiwa Spika, naongea haya kwa sababu ya ufahamu ambao tulimuona huyu mama, huyu dada akifanya kazi. Na kama kweli basi tumeamua tunataka kufanya kazi, naomba pia ule upande mwingine wa serikali umshike huyu dada mkono. Umshike huyu dada mkono, kwa sababu mara nyingi tunataka kukamua au kuvuna mahali hatujapanda. Ni kumaanisha hata katika migao ya bajeti. Hili idara la biashara lazima pia mgao wake wa bajeti uangaliwe vizuri, kwa sababu hatuwezi kwenda kukamua na ng'ombe basi hatujampatia nyasi. Sasa ndio huyu dada aweze kufanya kazi sawasawa, kazi ambayo itaonekana na mpaka tumuite Magufuli tena. Make jina kama limepotea. Kama tutalirudisha hili jina, huyu dada ataweza kurudisha hili jina, lazima aweze kupewa uungwaji mkono kutoka upande ule na upande huu pia. Sisi kama bunge tutembee pamoja na yeye kuhakikisha kwamba ameweza kutekeleza yale majukumu ambayo amepewa kikatiba. Tunamsihi gavana wetu Mwadime, punde tu tutakapokubaliana tu katika bunge hili, basi watualike mara moja twende kushuhudia kuapishwa rasmi kwa dada GETRUDE SHUWE, aingie kazi, tushikamane bega kwa bega na yeye, tuone mahali tutaenda tukibadilisha kusaidia hii Taita Taveta. Yapo mgema akisifiwa uletia tembo maji. Tumuomba pia huyu dada yetu, maana najua labda yatazama mahali alipo, manake leo siku muhimu kwake. Basi hata sisi tutafanya kibarua chetu jinsi inavyopaswa. Ukiona mahali pombe la ingia maji, basi na sisi tutakuwa pale kuzuia ule mkono kutia pombe maji. Tutamsaidia kwa vyovyote vile chini ya uwezo wa kikatiba na sheria tuliopewa, kumsaidia yeye kutekeleza kazi hii ambayo anaenda kuchukua. Yeye pamoja na mawaziri wenzake, bado sisi tuko tayari kusaidia serikali hii ya awamu ya 3 kuweza kutimiza yale malengo ambayo yako mbele yetu. Kwa hayo mengi, asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Basi natoa majibu rasmi kwa ajili ya hoja hii. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable members, I now put the question that this third county assembly adopts and approves the report of the committee on appointments on the vetting of Ms. GETRUDE NGINAI NAWOTI SHUWE for appointment to the position of County Executive Committee member for the Department of Trade, Tourism, Cooperative Development and Industrialization, laid on the table of this House on 5th December 2023, morning sitting number 87, and its recommendations thereof. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary